Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Bedinghaus, and our Friday live interview today is with Christine Harris. Christine is an amazing woman who has become, I consider, almost an expert on food prep ahead of time. She's a busy working mom, and she found out that food is really a great part of her own healing journey. So I'm going to let her tell her story. So let's welcome Christine Harris. Hey, Christine.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You
So,
bet. So
yeah,
I didn't want to steal your thunder, but uh, kind of tell our audience. Oh, by the way, friends out there, if you have comments or questions, please put them in the comment section. And towards the end of the time of our interview, we'll try to engage your questions. Okay. All right. So, Christine, tell us a little bit how you got so interested in the idea of planning your food, I guess you might
sure.
say.
Yeah, sure. I have had an inherited health condition that I've had to look in the eye, that I found out about when I was 18. So, taking care of myself was a priority. And then having two children later in life and wanting to be able to be around to spend time with them in my quote unquote old age is very, very important to me. Just diet and exercise probably were a big priority when I was maybe 15 years ago when I really started. And I realized that if you want to be able to eat good, nutritious, healthy food, there's a lot of planning involved. And as
Yeah.
you said, I work full time. I have two children. So figuring out how I could do that and get myself through the week was something I needed to do if I wanted to continue down that path.
Yeah. So, so when did the idea of prepping ahead of time, like on Sunday or the weekend, came to, you know?
That was about 5 years ago when I was
Okay.
working with an online trainer for exercise that, and they talk about bulk cooking and prepping your food ahead. And I love to cook, so that was something that I said, well, I better give this a try and see if it helps with this.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. So you first of all have to think about what you want, and then you have to go find it. Uh, so how do you go about planning a week's type of menus?
Sure. So I prep my breakfast, my lunch, and my snacks, and then I usually cook dinner on my own. I
Okay.
am a person that is okay eating the same thing every day. So I find those things that are healthy and fit with my diet, pre making oatmeal, smoothies, salads, cooking chicken breasts for salad, some salad or a lunch meal. But I do a lot of searching on the internet. I've been through many iterations of my diet and what I can and cannot eat. So you can simply search non-dairy lunch recipes or non-dairy chicken recipes, whatever you're interested in, and then it's looking at them and making sure they fit what you need to have, and it's at the level you are comfortable with cooking.
Yeah. Tell us about your smoothies.
Oh,
And when you told me that, I thought that was interesting. How
yeah.
what is
So
your smoothie recipe? I guess I
Well, I
might say.
have a new one now, but the one that I used for a really long time was frozen wild blueberries, cherries, lemon, maybe some spinach, and then just water to mix it all up. So it was really more about getting the antioxidants in than making it a full meal. My smoothie now has all of those ingredients plus some chia seeds and hemp seeds and a walnut or a Brazil nut, and some protein powder. So I make it a full meal in the morning.
So, and how do you get it all ready for the week?
Right now, I put the frozen fruits into a bag in the freezer, and I'll make 7 of those at a time. And then I just grab one of those to dump into the blender, and whatever I put almond milk in, and then the nuts and seeds that I put in are also all portioned out for the week as well. So I just take those frozen fruits and the nuts and I throw them in the blender with the liquid and zip it all up, and there's my breakfast.
Oh, that sounds delicious. What do you store the fruits and the nuts and everything in?
Right now, they're going in Ziploc bags that I'm rinsing out every day because I haven't found the right size glass container to put them in the freezer.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make a point about storing in plastic is fine. Uh, don't microwave in plastic. Not that you microwave your fruit, but
Yep.
that's an important point. So, okay. So the smoothie sounds like it takes what, 5 minutes to
Yeah,
fix.
probably about 5 minutes to get it all done. If you do that prep work, I prepped all of that last night. That took me about 15 minutes to have the nuts and everything together and the berries in their bags, and probably 5 minutes, you're right, to get that ready in the morning.
Okay. So where do you shop?
I shop actually mostly at King Supers. I'll
Okay.
go to Whole Foods for specialty things that I know I need from there that I can't get other places. There's a few things I like to get at Sprouts, but for the most part, I shop King Supers and just their organic fruits and vegetables, and then anything else I need to add to that.
Yeah. And why do you think organic foods are important?
I like to keep as little man-made substances out of my body. So I avoid the pesticides and any of the GMOs. And I feel better, I honestly, when I do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And how do you say your digestion is now with
It's
this kind of
fantastic.
with
Yeah.
this kind of conscious food prep and eating whole foods?
It's great. And really the elimination diet is what really got me to that point at identifying which foods I was eating that were causing those digestive issues and really sticking to it. And I've honed that in over those 5 years. I've probably done the elimination diet at least 4 or 5 times to really see what is it that's getting to me. And currently, I am not eating dairy or any grains or any sugar. So
Yeah.
feel amazing, and digestion is wonderful.
Yeah. Do you ever do intermittent fasting?
I kind of do it on accident, not on purpose. Just generally stop eating 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night, and then I don't have that smoothie until about 10 or 10:30 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of information now about intermittent fasting, and I've actually been doing it myself for the last month. And I used to get, kind of GI distress, I guess you might say. And that's pretty much gone.
Yep.
I eat dinner around 6, and then I may not eat again until the following day at lunch. And I've actually lost about 6 pounds. So there's good
Yeah.
side effects from that. But
Absolutely.
I think most people eat too much. If you eat to the point where you can hardly breathe, you've eaten too much. I always recommend people eat, put their food on a small plate and eat slowly and chew enough. uh, it's so important how you approach your food. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I do as soon as you start to feel full, maybe have one or two more bites and then you're done, because it takes a while, as I've learned and I have read, for your brain to understand, catch up with your stomach, and you still feel like you're hungry but you're not. I mean, once you start feeling that fullness, you should stop eating.
And over these last 5 years, have you lost weight?
I've lost almost 20 pounds.
Yeah, okay. And not dramatic, but that is gets you to a more ideal weight for your body frame and
Yeah.
your physiology. So you told me a story about this is your time when you do your food prep.
It
Can you
is.
share with us some of the things you do while you food prepping?
I listen to music. I just put on whatever music I like and have the kitchen to myself. The schedule that I have, I usually have the house to myself on Sunday afternoons. So that's my time. That's to dedicate to me to do the food prep. I'll usually take a walk after I'm done if I haven't picked some crazy recipes. Um, but I really just listening to music and having that time dedicated to taking care of myself.
Or were you ever known to dance during this?
I might. There might be a few little dance moves that get thrown in there every once in a while.
or film it on and put it on TikTok?
Oh no
No, no, no,
TikTok.
no TikTok.
No TikTok.
Yeah, okay. And what about your kids? How old are they?
My kids are 20 and almost 18. And they have not participated in this, but it's been interesting because my oldest is now getting very much into nutrition and starting to do the things that I do, and watching the protein intake, the sugar intake, asking me questions about it. So, him seeing me do that while I was frustrated during the time because of the things that they were eating. Now he's really come around and he'll eat whatever I make for dinner, but he's 20 and, starving college student, but he really enjoys it. And I think he learned a lot just by watching what I was doing.
Yeah, Christine, when I have a child come in to see me and I make a suggestion that they change his diet, or his or her diet, I get all kind of
Oh yeah.
feedback, which is, oh, he'll never do that. I can't get him to stop drinking a quart of milk every day. But you know what? If you start early, and or even if you make a change in the way you eat somewhere during a child's life, they begin to pick up on it, and they begin to see mom or dad look better, feel
Right.
better, not be as grumpy, maybe, which as a parent, we all get grumpy from
We do.
time being stressed out and overworked. But it is so important that
It is.
meals starts at home. And you do, I'm sure you're like most people. Are you able to have a family meal some of the time in the evening?
Yes. If we're all home, we will eat dinner together. And when the kids were growing up, before they started working, we always ate dinner together. And, talking about parenting with this, one of my challenges was it was always, oh, a cookie is a treat or a cupcake is a treat. So those things were in the house. And once I realized, well, that's not helping them, I just stopped buying it. And now we just don't have it in the house. So there's a mental shift for me too, there too, but we have always tried to eat together as a family.
That is so important.
Mhm.
Kids running in, grabbing something, and then
Right.
going out and having a pizza with their friends. That's
Right.
not exactly the way we try to raise our kids to be healthy. So, uh, now, so do you, okay, for your lunches, you can prepare those like with
Mhm.
cooking an animal protein product ahead of time and adding it to a salad and then some fresh veggies. But uh, so you're not food prepping your meats ahead of time by and
Well,
large.
I will if I make a stir fry. Of course the meats are in there, or a chili, or some type of a soup. I have had some pan meals that I cook the chicken in. So if it's I cook it like I would be cooking for my family, and then I just portion it all out into the
Yep.
individual glass containers. So yes, there are times that I'm doing the whole thing. It just depends on what I've decided to eat for that week.
Okay, but you're not necessarily storing raw meat in the
Oh no,
refrigerator.
no,
Okay.
no, no, no. The meat is always cooked.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. What else can you tell us about your food prep? Anything? Any special hints to our Facebook group?
Start small. Do one thing. Decide that you're going to make your breakfast and prep your whole breakfast. I wouldn't dive in head first to doing all of it. Find the things that you like to eat and then, expand from there. So make it easy because it would be very easy to go overboard and then become frustrated. You don't have enough time. It was too hard. Where am I going to store it? Have your food containers ready. Make sure they're clean. Um, so yeah, and make sure you bought what you need. I mean, I had to go out and buy two big boxes of the glass containers. They weren't expensive, but it's like, oh, where am I going to put them? Found the space again, making it a priority, making sure everything is easy to get to. But I really start out small. Don't try to do a whole day all at once.
Yeah, I like that idea. Even just starting with prepping for if you use a smoothie in the morning,
Hmm.
start with that. Do that for 2 or 3 weeks and say, hey, this is easy. And then you can start thinking about your salads
Yeah.
or anything you're going to have for lunch. I do I do encourage people to eat organic as much as possible because so much of our food has been sprayed with pesticides,
Mhm.
especially a product called Roundup.
Right.
I'm sure my friends here on this Facebook group get tired of hearing me say that, but glyphosate is a terrible product that is found in Roundup. It will totally destroy your gut bacteria and therefore cause a tremendous amount of problems. And plus, we have to support our local farmers, our organic farmers. I think somebody made a point of saying that many times, even if at the grocery store it doesn't say organic, if it was grown locally, many times they are going as much organic as they possibly can, even though they haven't been labeled organic. But you know, we change our world one food at a time, one farmer at a time, one consumer at a time, by thinking and being conscious of what is in our earth. But all these chemicals are stored in the earth, and therefore they get into the groundwater. And it's so important that we become conscious of that. And the other thing about water, I'm sure you drink a lot of water.
Mhm. Yes, we do. Out of
Yeah,
filtered water, we have a filtration system. We have a reverse
yeah,
osmosis system on our
yeah.
kitchen, in our kitchen. Yes.
And if people can't afford that, then you can buy that kind of water at local places. Here in Colorado, natural grocers, I think, have reverse osmosis. You can take your jug up there and fill it up. We use a local water filtration company, and we go every week and get our little 2-gallon jugs of water. That book, carry chop wood and carry water. I'm not chopping wood, but I'm carrying water.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
worth
so
it.
important to drink enough water. You should drink about half of your body weight in ounces per day.
And I
So,
even prep my water too. I have a big, I don't have it with me right here. I have a big container that I put my water in, and I know I have to drink 2 of those every day. So I start out the morning, and then at lunchtime, I usually am filling it back up. So I even prep the water.
yeah, it's a perfect way to detoxify.
Yeah.
Because you got to flush out, because it's almost impossible to have absolutely pure food
Hmm.
just because of our environment. But again, like you said, the elimination food plan is what we recommend for all of our patients, okay? No matter whether they've got GI symptoms or not, many times it actually begins bringing them into conscious awareness of what it means to eat whole, healthy food, and mostly plant based, even though I think we do need a little bit of animal protein, but we don't need, 5 pounds at a meal.
Right.
Okay, it should
Exactly.
be small amounts that you add to a plant-based meal. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
found that I have some issues with some of the carbohydrates, and my glucose levels will go higher than they should when I eat some of them. So I lean towards probably 3 to 4 ounces of protein at lunch and at dinner. But as you're saying, no great big, huge 12-ounce steak ever. So, and I supplement with pea protein powder as a protein source. So, as you're
yeah,
saying, you can find those vegetarian options. Some of them you have to, again, trial and error, see how they taste, and let yourself get used to it for a little while, because you will. But yeah, I would agree.
yeah. When you're using a protein powder, uh, just drinking it straight with water in it
Mhm.
is not very
Right.
pleasing. But by the time you add some fruits and even veggies,
Yes.
greens, I like to put spinach or kale. I don't like it the way it makes my mouth feel, spinach,
Mhm.
but you put it in your smoothie, and it'll really fill you up too, and you'll feel like you're doing the right thing for your body.
Yeah.
And
I was
the other, I
I
really
was
want to.
going to say, I read about putting frozen cauliflower in smoothies just yesterday that make them smoothie or make them really smooth and creamy. It's like, oh, well, I've never tried that, so there's something else I would try. But you're right, but you can put vegetables in anything and cover up that protein powder.
It's amazing what you can
Yeah,
put in a blender.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. If you're going to do a lot of that, you got to have a pretty good blender, or the motor will go kapunk on you. But
Yeah.
that would be a great Christmas present for somebody to get a blend tech, or what is it, what's the other one?
Vitamix. I use a
Vita,
Vitamix, and my husband is always, he'll stand there and watch that thing chop things up. He goes, I can't believe what that thing does. It's amazing. So
I know.
it's worth it. I've had it for 5 years and it has not let me down.
Yeah, I went to Costco one time to get a Vitamix, and they didn't have them there that day, so I bought a blend tech, which is pretty comparable. I'm not sure it's quite as good, but anyway. Well, let's see if we have anybody who's made a comment or has any questions. I have a tendency to have a shy audience. Nobody wants to say anything, which is okay. Remember that this is recorded, and as soon as we end the broadcast, it will be recorded on our Facebook group. So, Christine, thank you so much for being a part of this
Yeah. Thank you.
weekly event, and I I know that you will continue to be healthy and wise, and such a beautiful person that you are.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than words. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, Tom is going to let us know if there is anybody that has any burning questions. And he told me to give him a minute before we end the dialogue. So, while we're waiting for that, eating seasonally.
Um, well, that just kind of happens for me. Avocados are usually good a certain time of the year. Cantaloupes, pears, apples. I do try to eat seasonally, but a lot of the things that I can get year round. Bell peppers, cucumbers, broccoli. It's really the fruits that I find to be more seasonal.
Yeah, and I always encourage people to eat locally as much as you can, because by the time something comes from Argentina or Belarus, it's
Yeah.
not fresh per se. Even and now with all the shipping uh, vessels waiting to unload their wares, I don't know what's going to happen with our food. But
Yeah. I
and
have
the other
long
thing is start a garden.
Yes, and I have a long list of things because of that I will be prepping and putting in the freezer. The food sealer is another thing that is really handy to be able to put your foods in and save them for, a couple of months and have them ready to go.
Yeah, without that, that gets freezer burned, and then
Yes.
it's not harmful, but it doesn't taste as good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, it looks like we're ready to go. So
All
thanks so
right.
much,
Thank
and
you.
I'll see you later.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend.